Hello and welcome to another episode of the Theater Professor Vidcast. My name is Terry Danich-Kumiak II, and I am the Theater Professor. And this week we continue our exploration of art apps for the iPad. I hope that you've been enjoying the previous vidcasts. We have covered a variety of different art apps that you see on the screen right now, and we're going to continue on until I finish this screen, and then I get more suggestions from people, and then I continue on, and more and more and more and more. This is how this is going to work until finally I run out of all my art apps and move on to sound apps or onto some other apps that I like to use. This is a crazy week for me. For those of you that know what I do, I am a theater professor, and we open a show in just 3 days. I'm actually recording this a couple days early so that I have it ready to go on my usual release date of Tuesdays. And we are doing Into the Woods, Into the Woods, Into the Woods. So if you know the musical, you know that it's a crazy fun musical, and there's a lot to it. And we, we're an academic institution, and so I've been putting in long hours, and I am ready for the show to open and then eventually close. So that is my crazy, wonderful life right now. But some of you guys don't really care about that. What you care about is what I'm going to be talking about next. And this week, we're going to be talking about this little app down here in the bottom row. Unfortunately, it's not Orion Ink. I'm going to be working on that app soon. I'm trying to figure out a way to make it either look as this screen currently is, in landscape, or if I have to do it in portrait, I have to redo my recording software so that it records in portrait. But I'm going to be doing that hopefully within the next couple of weeks. No, instead this week we're going to be looking at iPastels. So I'm going to click on it. This is a really interesting app. I mean, the name should give it away a little bit. It deals with pastels. So if you like using pastels as a real-world media, then I think you're really going to enjoy what we have here in regards to an app, because it feels very much like using pastels. Let's look at the interface. I'm not a huge fan of the UI. I'll tell you that right now. I think that the user interface is decent, but there are no words to go with anything, and when you look at it, you go, what do all these different things mean? And that can get a little frustrating to a first-time user. I know that the first time I used it, I had to sit there for the first half hour and just figure out what each thing was, and then had to try and memorize it, since obviously there are no words with any of the UI elements. So let's look at it from top to bottom so that we understand a little bit of what we're using here. Your top 6, 3 across, and then the 3 below that, all those are general like file type menu items. The top left-hand corner gives you settings, gives you tools, user interface, and iPastels website. If we click the tools, you can adjust individual size, you can adjust individual pressure, and there's anti-aliasing, which I'm not going to worry about. The user interface, you can auto-hide UI, you can move to the other side, and you can turn on button sounds. Right now I have auto-hide UI on, that's fine. Your second one obviously is an import-export. I say obviously because it has a disk there. You can import from photos and export to photos. The third one is your help. There's a lot in here. The big one in here is gestures and taps. Gives you a little information, how to zoom, how to pan, how to reset the zoom and pan, and how to full screen on and off. All of that is quite nice. It's got information about layers, color sets, all the help things that you would need to kind of figure out. I kind of went through this all the first time that I used this app. Next row, first one, is our current painting. If you click your all work in process, it'll show all the paintings you're working on. You can see here you can see here that I was on painting 3. I'm going to go back to that. And you'll see that we have other paintings in here. I've never filled this. I got to stop brushing my finger on this. I've never filled this up, so I don't know, like if you get to the bottom, if it gives you more options or you have to delete something. You also have layer options. Foreground layer, middle ground layer, background layer, operations such as merge, swap, etc. Your next one, middle, second row, is a mop. And let me see if I lay something down and hit the mop, it clears it. Clears the screen entirely. Okay. Your sixth one Deals with the layers, I believe, but I'm not sure. We will play with that one later on when we get into layers. For right now, I'm just looking to see. Yeah, I don't know what any of that does, so I think it's just different layers. So maybe you get 3 layers. Oh, duh. This is the silliness in me. If we go back to our question mark. Nope. Oh, yeah, let's look at that. Layers. The image consists of multiple layers, and painting on one layer doesn't affect the others. To switch between the different layers, use the button that has what looks like a stack of papers. So that is our different layers. So it's not like a normal layer setup. You would just hit this button. You switch between the house, the flower, and what looks like mountains, and those are your 3 layers. You have your redo and undo underneath that with your big curved arrows. Underneath that, you have your tools. The first tool is an eraser tool, which obviously we can't see. Your second tool there is like a Q-tip. So if you were using a Q-tip with your pastels. Your third one is your finger, of course. Your fourth one is a block pastel, so that like the side of the pastel. Your next one, I believe, is, let's see. Well, I'm not sure. And your third one, my assumption is there are 3 different types of pastels. Why don't we look at our manual help? See, this is where I forget things often, and I'm like, I'm not sure I remember blending, underdrawing, underpainting, and I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Color sets, no, that's not what I want. Menus, pop-up help. Oh, here we go. Whenever you're wondering what a button does, just press and hold it down for a couple of seconds. So let's do that. This one is the eraser. This one is your cotton swab. This one, as we said, is our smudge. Now this one is soft chalk pastel. The next one, firm oil pastel. And finally, your rich oil pastel. We're going to go to our chalk one for now. I'm going to clear the page. Okay, your next 4 here are how hard you press. So let's look at the 4. The first one, second one, third one, and fourth one. Okay, so it's essentially how much pressure you're putting on the chalk the charcoal or the oil pastel. Clear that. And that'll work for any of the oil pastels. We'll go with this one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Look at that. Okay. Now your next one obviously is your sizes. You have 6 different sizes that you can choose from. I've been using the biggest size because it's the easiest to work with. And then finally, underneath that, you have colors to choose from. Oh, I love when I do that. Excuse me. So you have a variety of colors. On the bottom, you have 4 essentially tabs. Your first tab, your second tab, your third tab, and your fourth tab. And they're different color sets, essentially. You can indeed replace the color set. So you see you've got several here. Random analogs, random shades, etc. Named colors. So if I were to guess, this is probably the named colored ones. Nope. So that's named colors. That's basic colors. Those are your sketching colors, your spectrum shades, random shades, random analogs, and assorted colors. I'm going to just go back to spectrum shades for now and see what we got here. Okay. All right, let's clear this out. Now, the one thing I'm noticing here is you cannot create your own set, which is unfortunate. The other thing I'm seeing here is that there is no way to use an oil dropper to kind of pick color out of what you've already created, which could be a problem for somebody who's gotten used to that style of drawing. All right, so let's look a little bit and see how it does. Again, I'm going to start with our soft chalk pastel, and we're just going to do a simple box for now. Oh. I like how it lays on the paper. It's definitely got that chalk pastel feel to it. Let me grab a lighter color. Right now I'm on the hardest and the biggest, just because I want to see what happens when I grab my finger and start to blend this. I'm going to take take it down so I'm not pressing so hard now. And this is what I really loved about it when I first got it, is it, for anybody who's done pastels, because I'm using my finger here. I'm not using a stylus. This is one of the few times that you will see me use my finger here, because when I'm using pastel, I'm not always trying to be very, very harsh, very specific in my lines. This is a great one. This is a great one. So if you have children, right, who you want to teach art with and you don't want to worry about a stylus, this is a great art app that I think that would be good for children, because you can just use your finger and create these. But look at how it mimics, and I'll use that term a lot. It mimics pastel really nicely. Let's go a little darker over there. Let me see, what do I got? There, that's good. And I'm gonna grab that. Maybe, do I have a black in here? There, these are the ones I want. But you can see again, and right now I'm just doing like I said, the soft chalk pastel. If we were to switch over to the second one, which again is your farm oil pastel, and I'm gonna go one step darker there, and grab our cotton swab and maybe swab it in the middle a little bit, then grab our finger and kind of blend it. I mean, it's so much fun. I really like how this app feels. It's weird. You're right. We do these art apps, and it's all about how it feels to me. Even though I can't feel anything, I know that what I'm doing is it's digital. It's not real, but still, if it can make me feel like I'm doing the real thing, I find that to be pretty impressive. And change size. Oops, I need to grab something like this. There we go. So let me clear this. Oh no, I want to clear that. I want to start light. Let me start light like this. Okay. And we're gonna just kind of fill some of this in. And maybe then I'll grab a darker. See, and this is where I wish I had a slider of some sort, so I could adjust the color. I guess to a certain extent this is more like the real thing, where you're having to... I'm going to take that there, and then I'm going to blend. I'm going to blend it. Essentially what I'm just playing with kind of a... create a shadow on a ball kind of thing. There we go. Look at that. And then if you want to clean up some of the edges, you just come around. It's almost, I guess if I took my time, I could turn this into a lemon. There we go. Let me see. What if I do lightest and just build up some? So I'm just laying it down slowly here. And every time I pick up my finger, it starts to lay down a new bit to it. So this is a really interesting app. I don't believe it's too much in the App Store. I don't remember. It's only a couple dollars. And I apologize for that. One of the things is that I get a lot of these apps, and I don't write down how much they are. I could probably go back in. I'll have a link for it, on the website, www.thetheaterprofessor.com. I'll have a link to where you can get it on iTunes, so you don't have to go searching for it. But excuse me, I'm going to cough. Excuse me. So if it's something that you want to try, I say give it a try. It was not an expensive app, and again, there's different layers. So I just switched layers. So let's see what happens if I grab let's grab this. So I don't want to do that. So let's go to a different layer. So there's the under layer, see? So we're going to put this lemon kind of on a table. A very orangey table of ugliness. Ooh! Don't know how I did that because I'm just moving my finger back and forth to fill in this table. And then maybe we'll give the... Oops. No, that works. That works, Terry. And maybe do just a very light on the outside. A little more. There we go. Almost there. There we go. So that is my quick art of the day. Again, the name of this app is iPastels. iPastels. So if it's something that you're looking, if you like the pastel and both the oil and the soft chalk pastel, I say try out the app, especially if it's something that you like using your fingers. If you like that tactile feel when working with an art app, this one really does give that feel. It's a very simple app. It does one thing. It is all about the pastels. You're not going to have a chance to do painting or sketching in pencil. But there, you can import from photos. Let's import from photos to the background layer. We'll just grab something from my photo stream. Let's see here. We'll grab... those are some weird things. I'm not going to open up those. Let's grab this. So there. Now that's in my background. And what that means is I could come over and I could then, do some pastel-y stuff over top of it. I'm not going to. I'm going to take that out. But it could be something where you do mixed media, where you bring in a picture and then do some pastel areas over top of the picture. So that's kind of cool as well. All right, that's about it for this week's art app. It's, like I said, it's a really interesting app. If it's something that you're going to try out, let me know. My hope is next week to do a little art app called Auryn Ink, Auryn Ink. It's a watercolor app. While we're at that, I received an email recently in regards to that app, and that's why I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Yes, I will definitely look into that. And so I wanted to mention a website via that, and I'll put this in my notes as well on the website. This is, so as you know, all of the stuff that I do is iPad related. It's iOS. I don't have an Android, but I want to tell you about a website that if you are looking at art apps for the Android, there is, it's called elletaylorartist.blogspot.com, and also androidartists.boards.net, and I'll put both of those links. I think I can put them in the video too, so I'll try putting them in the video as well. But I'll put both of those links on my website so that you guys, for those of you that are Android users, here's somebody and a group of people who are focusing on art apps for the Android. The cool thing about that, if anybody followed my Art Rage tutorials, Art Rage is now on some of the Android devices, so definitely check out mine, and maybe somebody over there will do something for Art Rage as well. But again, this is like I said, elletaylorartist.blogspot.com and androidartists.boards.net. Both of these are places where you can check out Android art apps. That's all we're going to do this week with our art apps. stay tuned. I do have a podcast coming on Wednesday, and then, of course, the next in the series of Art Rage for the desktop. Now, no blog post this week. I have a show opening. I can't do the videos and the podcast and the blog posts, podcasts, and vidcasts all during this week because, I'm trying to open a show. And since as director of theater, it's kind of important for me to make sure it happens, I'm going to be doing that. But there will be more next week as I finish a show and I have some more free time. I hope you're enjoying these, and I hope you enjoy all the other ones that I continue to do. My name is Terry Dana Chikimiak II, and I am the Theater Professor. Have a good evening.